Metcalf was able to hold that, but they stayed with the puck back behind the net. Blue got it, took a chance out in front to Zeal with a tap in that will score. Parks out of the shotgun, takes the snap, stepping, looking, back shoulder fade to Mackey, and he catches it for a Red River touchdown.
It's time for the best in local sports coverage with KNOX Live Sports and News Radio 1310 KNOX.
Puck goes free to the high slot, picked up Lovejoy, wrister, and he scores. Reardon working right side, defended the entire way. A stop by Dookie. She looks into J.C. Reardon, the high-low is there.
The following is a presentation of KNOX Live Sports, presented by Rivard's Turf and Forage and Grand Trailer Sales.
Off to the right, down to the doorstep. Hoganson, a backhander, he scores. What a play for Griffin Hoganson.
Let's go live to tonight's presentation.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you tonight to Purple Arena as we finish off another week of the regular season of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. And the end is near. We're into the month of February. For those of you on the North Dakota side of the river tuning in tonight, we're down to just a week of regular season hockey left after tonight. And the postseason begins a week from tomorrow with the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament play-in matchups that will be in Devils Lake and Grafton. And more details on those coming up in just a bit. For those of you on the North Dakota side of things, or sorry, the Minnesota side of things, it's time to move on to section tournaments the same week that North Dakota has its state hockey tournament the last week of February. So you'll be off and running into sectional tournaments at the end of the month. The final tune-ups have to begin, and tonight should be a good one for one of those tune-ups as the Bemidji Lumberjacks come down US Highway 2 to take on Grand Forks Central and face the Knights this evening. We welcome you to our coverage on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. Ryan Cunningham with Joey Springer and Luca Carpenter behind our cameras here tonight. Well, this will be a little different than perhaps we expected when this matchup was set to go a couple of weeks ago. It was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago, and then the cold came. And when the cold came, it was a pretty serious cold that we had out there. We had 30 below wind chills, 35, 40, 50. You take your pick below zero wind chills, and it wasn't safe to travel, so said the schools, and so this one got moved to tonight. Lots better weather here tonight, even if yesterday might have been a better day. Overall for travel, still a lot better than what we had going on a couple of weeks ago. But Grand Forks Central's not a complete team coming into tonight, and the two players that they're missing are going to be some pretty good players. Wyatt Blake back on the blue line, and up front, Shea Kwame. Neither of those players available. We understand some injuries for both of them, and it seems as though, we don't know this as of yet, but it seems as though we're going to see a Central Knights team that's locked in to the number one seed in the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament, perhaps hold those players back and not use them in non-conference action. They're going to take on a Bemidji Lumberjacks team that's 5-8-1 this season, and their struggle has been scoring goals. This is a team that comes in averaging less than 3 goals a game, and what really stands out is if the number was correct from MN Hockey Hub when we looked at it earlier today, this is a team that's sub 6% in power play success. So it's a Lumberjacks team that's really looking for a lift offensively. They need to try to find that at the end of the regular season. That will be a difference as they go into a meat grinder of a Section 8 schedule. A couple of ranked teams that are up in Section 8 already. And, of course, the defending state champions you have to get through. The Moorhead Spuds are sitting there. You got to get through that before you have an opportunity to move on to the state tournament. So different challenges tonight. Central to play without a couple of players and see what their depth can do. Bemidji trying to use this to build some offensive success as they get ready to move deeper into their season. And we bring it to you tonight courtesy of our premier sports partners. They include Rivard's Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks. You can find them online at rivards.com. For your next Turf or Forage project, just trying to bring in that big buck during the deer hunting season, or you want to change the look of your grounds, you want Rivard's Turf and Forage. They mix and match all their seed varieties in their plant right here in Grand Forks. And it's brought to you by Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks. Looking for a new trailer? They have you covered at Grand Trailer Sales. Service on your existing trailer? They have you covered again at Grand Trailer Sales. And any make and model of trailer that you're looking for to up your game, whether you're hauling for fun or hauling for work, Grand Trailer Sales on Highway 2 East in East Grand Forks has you covered. Our pregame report, a bit abbreviated tonight coming up. We had a couple of challenges beverages to get ready for tonight's action, but hopefully we're going to be able to bring you something kind of fun here tonight as the players get ready to take their way off the ice and come out for the start of this one tonight. Grand Forks Central and Bemidji up against one another tonight in non-conference action this evening. And we'll bring it to you from Purple Arena downtown in Grand Forks tonight. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports this evening. We are coming to you from Purple Arena, downtown Grand Forks. It's Grand Forks Central at home tonight with a record of 15-2-0-2. 2 losses on the season, only 2. 1 to East Grand Forks and 1 to War Road this year. And they'll take on a Bemidji Lumberjacks team that enters the night 5-8-1. Our pregame report tonight is presented by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And it's brought to you tonight as well by True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. Let's take a look at what's on the line in this one tonight with Drive for the Title, which will bring you each and every broadcast. Now, for those of you viewing tonight, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, we have updated Eastern Dakota Conference standings there. This will not be an EDC game, so these numbers will not be affected. That's one part of this. Here's the other part. The numbers for Grand Forks Central and Grand Forks Red River will no longer be affected for the remainder of the year. Central currently is seated number 1 in the EDC, cannot move. Grand Forks Red River is currently seated number 2 in the EDC, also cannot move. So the Knights will go into the postseason as the number 1 seed in the regional tournament. For those of you in Minnesota, that would be analogous to a section tournament, except for the fact that because we've only got 2 regions for hockey in North Dakota, 4 from each region will fill up the state tournament. West Fargo Cheyenne is currently 3rd, and Central pummeled Cheyenne last night. That was really a high watermark for the Central Knights team this year. Last night they were at Cheyenne, and it was a 6-0 game after 2 periods, but shots on goal were 50-3 after 2 periods of play if the scoring was correct. Now, Cheyenne's a better hockey team than that, but if the Knights have the capability of performing like that against the number 3 seed in the tournament, this is a team that seems to be crescendoing at the end of the year. And Cheyenne still fighting for position as they're 3 points ahead of Fargo Davies. Remember, the top half of the league, those top 4 spots, will get home games in the EDC tournament coming up when the tournament starts, coming up in a couple of Tuesdays on the 17th. Fargo North, after their loss last night to Red River 3-2, still at 19 points and in 5th place, a point better than Shanley, who rallied last night after trailing to West Fargo after a period and just really put a big win on the Packers last night after being down 2-0. Shanley now a point away from 5th place. Devils Lake currently in 7th place position, and that's just a point, actually a couple of games ahead of Grafton Park River. Grafton Park River cemented in the 8th spot. Devils Lake cemented in the 7th spot in the league. So for those of you looking at the EDC standings tonight, here's what we know going into the final week of regular season hockey. Central's going to be number 1. Red River is going to be number 2. Devils Lake will be number 7, and they will host Mayport Area, who does not play for points in the EDC. They play an independent schedule. They take the automatic number 10. That game will be in Devils Lake 2 Saturdays from now, a week from tomorrow at 1:30. And Grafton Park River will host West Fargo, the 8-9 matchup in the play-in game. Grafton Park River will host that at 1 o'clock coming up next Saturday afternoon. We will have video coverage of that matchup. KNOX Live Sports is your exclusive home for video coverage of the EDC tournament coming up. On the right-hand side of your screen, those are the AA hockey rankings in Minnesota, according to Let's Play Hockey. There's a number of different ranking services you can use. This one's been just as good as any of the rest of them. Minnetonka, the top-ranked team in AA hockey, with Moorhead coming into the number 2 spot. St. Thomas Academy has moved up in that poll, and the Cadets right now are having a strong finish to their season. Edina is 4th, Shakopee 5th, then Rogers, Hill Murray, Rosemont, Cretin-Derham Hall, and Stillwater filling up the top 10. The top 9 of that poll has been consistent for a few weeks now. Number 10 is rotated back and forth, and then there might be some position changes in those number 2 through 6 spots. But all in all, we've had some consistent numbers there as well. And so going into the postseason, Moorhead expected to be a favorite again in Section 8 AA, which is the section that Bemidji plays in Minnetonka, the number 1 ranked team in Minnesota. That's Drive for the title that we have for you this evening. A break in our pregame report. We'll come back, take a look at our game tools that we have for tonight and also our keys to the game as we continue our coverage of high school hockey tonight from Purpura Arena in downtown Grand Forks. It's Central and Bemidji, the Knights and the Lumberjacks on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's number 1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with Harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our number 1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job. If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports tonight. We come to you this evening from Purpura Arena in Grand Forks, where we get set for the start of tonight's matchup. Non-conference hockey tonight. And I guess you could say interstate hockey this evening. The Bemidji Lumberjacks will take on the Grand Forks Central Knights. Matchup here at Central. This one, of course, was supposed to be played earlier this year, a couple of weeks ago, but due to the intense cold that we were having at that point, well, it became a bit of a problem, and it's been pushed off to tonight. Our pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And brought to you tonight by True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. Let's take a look at what we have as far as our tools for the game tonight. And our tools for the game this evening are brought to you by State Farm Insurance Representative Logan Karski in Grand Forks. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Logan Karski is there to put together a game plan for you to protect what's important to you. Home, auto, life, farm, business, health. He has it for you at State Farm Insurance. And they're one of the top home insurers that you're going to find in the business. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Visit Logan Karski. Find out more about how he can put together a game plan for protection for you. And when you start taking a look through this Lumberjacks team, the scoring comes from a captain. 20 points this season for Tavon Welly, who will play on the second line as a winger tonight, but that's likely going to be the first line. That's their heavy scoring line that they have tonight. Griffin Dewar comes in with 15 points, 7 goals. Wesley Truax with 14 points and 7 goals. Tavon Welly has scored 13 goals this season to get up to 20 points, and those are the men that make this work. And Quinn Niemi with 15 points, 5 goals, and 10 assists as well. But those are the only double-figure point scorers that they have on this team, at least in the front lines. Landon Knott back on the blue line has scored 12 points this season on 4 goals and 8 assists. But we mentioned this is a team that's been starved for some offense throughout the year. Their goalie numbers, though, are very good. Christian Hill is a captain on this team, wearing the C on his jersey, with a 1.98 goals against average and a save percentage of .932 this year. So, yeah, the team may be a little starved for some offense, but this is a team that's done extremely well when it comes down to stopping other teams from scoring. They give up about 2.5 goals a game, so they've been very, very good this year when it comes down to the defensive side of the equation. For Grand Forks Central, playing without a couple of weapons tonight, as we mentioned, there will be no Che Kwame this evening. There will be no Wyatt Blake tonight for Grand Forks Central either. However, they have the vast majority of their offense put together pretty well coming into the night. Coming into the night, Nolan Mardo taking over as the team leader in scoring. Had a couple of big breakout games this year, to include a breakout game against Moorhead. 41 points on the season, 16 goals, and 25 assists to lead the way for Grand Forks Central this season. 34 points on the year for Ryland Spicer on that second line. Gavin Walkenfuss with 32 points. They're the leaders, and 32 for Cooper DeZiel at this point as well. Weston Nielsen trying to bring his numbers up a little bit. He and Ryland Burke have sparred for the job throughout the year. Weston Nielsen more work this season. He has a save percentage of .910, goals against of just under 0.8 of a goal a game. That's because of a ferocious forecheck that Grand Forks Central has had. Ryland Burke has similar numbers in this one tonight as well. So we're looking forward to seeing what these two teams are going to do for us on the defensive side of the equation tonight, but Central will definitely have the edge when it comes down to scoring. Well, the teams are back on the ice tonight. Let's get ready to go with our coverage of high school hockey. We'll take a look at our starting lineups and drop the puck in this one next. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens.
At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto in Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports tonight. As our starting lineups are being announced here this evening, the Grand Forks Central Knights being introduced this evening here at Purpur Arena. And we get set for our coverage of high school hockey tonight as Grand Forks Central will go up against Bemidji here this evening. Lumberjacks and the Knights in high school hockey tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring you our national anthem this evening and then run through our starting lineups that we have for you tonight. So stay with us here. We'll get to our starting lineups in just a moment. Right now, let's go ahead and bring you to our national anthem that we had for you this evening. We'll send you down to our public address announcer for tonight's national anthem.
Nation and flag, our national anthem.
National anthem performed here this evening. Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports tonight. We thank you for joining us for our pregame report brought to you by True North Equipment and also by Signature Graphics and Apparel. Starting lineups for this evening. First of all, for the visitors, the Bemidji Lumberjacks. Getting the start between the pipes is Christian Hill. The starting defenders will be Nathan Valley and Eli Kringen. And out on the first line, Wesley Truax will center Griffin DeWar on his left and Tavon Welly on his right. For Grand Forks Central, Weston Nielsen gets the start tonight between the pipes. And the Knights will bring out Logan Nielsen and Bodie Burris as their starting defensive pair. Trey Clausen will center the first line tonight. with Ryder Rivard on his left and Cooper DeZiel on his right, and Trey Clausen stepping into that spot with Che Kwame out of the lineup. Typically, DeZiel would center that line, and Kwame would play on the right wing. But Trey Clausen is a center. Cooper DeZiel is multifaceted in his approach to the game. And so we'll see Trey Clausen stepping up to center from what is normally his spot on the third line. That's going to allow Devin Walkenfuss to get in the lineup tonight, and we hear that after an injury that he sustained, he's ready to go, and they're expecting really, really big things out of Devin. And Brody Ledecky, who had a great football season for Central, will step into that role as well. Knights ready. Trey Clausen will take the drop against Wesley Truax, and we are underway with high school hockey here at Purple Arena in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And we're glad to have you along with us here tonight on KNOX Live Sports. The Knights gain the zone on the right. Quick shot coming in, knocked away by Christian Hill. Tested immediately tonight from the right wing, and Hill will come up with a good stop. And again, sparkling numbers for the starting goaltender for Bemidji this season. Lumberjacks fight one through the neutral zone. This will take a hop back towards the net. Logan Nielsen runs down Wesley Truax into the end wall. Truax struggling to get up, but appears to be okay. A loose puck comes back to the central line. It'll be batted back in off the outside spot by Eli Kringen for the Lumberjacks. Puck back behind the net once again for Central. Look back to get out of their own end, and Bodie Burris leading the charge. Made a pass to the right. Nobody got a piece of it. That will go beyond at the goal line, and we'll have icing as the call, and that'll bring us back into the Central zone. Our coverage tonight brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. Grand Forks, Devils Lake. Again, 772-DOOR. They've been serving the area since 1974, and they have perfect service for your garage door. A battle for control of that puck. It'll be kicked back across the line by Kringen for the Lumberjacks, and the puck will come back out to neutral ice. A chip by Aiden Graber pushed it back towards the left. A charge towards the net being executed by Gavin Walkenfuss. He couldn't find the puck, but this is the dynamic scoring line that comes on the ice for Grand Forks Central. Not back on the back check, and will push it back to the neutral zone. A chip up ice by Cal Matfield for the Lumberjacks, and a charge in by Quinn Niemi will put it back into the right corner. Matfield trying to stick handle, got close to the net. Nielsen goes down to cover one up, and a little bit of extra activity coming up after the play. Nielsen holds on for the whistle, and there was some pushing and shoving on the end of that as well, but Nielsen appears to be none the worse for wear. And we'll see the draw coming up to the right of Weston Nielsen. 15:41 to play in the opening period. Scoreboard updates brought to you by Altra tonight. We'll draw to the right of Nielsen. Mardo will take the draw for Central, and he duels against Chase Fairchild as we'll see the Lumberjacks put their third line on the ice. Central will keep their second out, at least for the moment. Mardo into the neutral zone, a chip up the ice looking for Walkenfuss. It goes loose at center, picked up by Fairchild. Fairchild trying to drag back to his forehand side. Had a puck go weakly into the right circle, and that'll be picked off by the Knights' Gavin Walkenfuss. He'll turn it back behind his own net. It comes back out to Spicer for the Knights. Off near side for Mardo trying to find an opening. He's up ice, great pass up the ice, and Walkenfuss tried to turn it back to him, and the puck just came off of the end of his stick before he could make a strong pass back. This will be touched up. No icing call coming up against Bemidji as they push one back into the Grand Forks Central zone. Mardo trying to fight off some control at the end of his shift. And the Knights bring the third line out. This will be pushed back up ice by Kason Panzer, who steps out as a defender. Puck off the right, thrown in by Jacob Spicer. He'll push into the corner. Kirkaby's there, playing back behind the net. Sam Presting comes back towards the near side ice for the Knights to hold on to the puck against the wall. And sent back in by Panzer off the left point. Lumberjacks attempting to chase. They've got Landon Knott back out for another shift. Again, this is a good defensive hockey team. Nathan Valley trying to push one back towards the near side. Battle for control in the neutral zone, and now right in front of the Grand Forks Central bench. And this will come back out towards the right where Central play it back through the neutral zone. Knott got it right on the center line. Got it back towards the central line. Finn Sitchie, who steps into the lineup with the injury to Blake tonight, comes up with a touch on the point. This will come back to the high slot. Valley trying to get one through. It was blocked and deflected. And the loose puck will carry him back into the neutral zone. Long charge to get to it for Jacob Spicer of Grand Forks Central, and the Knights will change up. First line comes back on the ice, not trying to take advantage of the line change. He's got good speed, waves off towards the left wall, took a hit from Trey Clausen, then Clausen picked his stick, and the puck goes loose to the far wall. Bodie Burris with a chip there. Logan Nielsen back to get to it for the Knights. 3.5 minutes into the matchup, or just about. Clausen turns his way up the ice for Central. He has a habit of absorbing hits and being able to keep right on going. DeZiel back to Clausen, trying to crash the net out of the right circle. Clausen pulls around a defender, made a back pass, was looking for Ryder Rivard. Rivard wasn't ready for it, and this leads to a breakout. Dawson Schoonover coming up the ice. His shot off the end of Nielsen's glove and springs back into the corner. Puck will be battled for out of that right corner in the Grand Forks Central end as Bemidji puts a little bit of pressure on. Nielsen back behind the net, turns one back towards the left for DeZiel. DeZiel fighting for control, but he was corralled on the right side by Quinn Niemi, and the puck will be pushed back towards the left of Central's end. Nice trying to break it out. Cannot. Another pass picked off. Schoonover coming back towards the near side. Big hit near the Central bench. Leads to a shot sprayed in on Nielsen. He'll turn it away. Matfield picks up the loose puck for the Lumberjacks. They're in the midst of a change, though, and no support can be found for him. And then Matfield ends up without his stick after taking a hit. Nielsen a drive, just deflected wide on a nonchalant punch by Christian Hill. Central tries to change up. Line number 4 coming out on the ice. Bensley puts a charge in, trying to come in from behind on Eli Kringen, who's there for the Lumberjacks. Kringen turned it back into the neutral zone. Knights back to get to it. Logan Binu has had a great season defensively for Central as a sophomore. Turns one back into the corner. Kringen getting back to it for the Lumberjacks and chipping off the glass. This will float back into the neutral zone. Chase Fairchild over to pick it up. Up ice alone against the defense. Put one up high. Great wrist shot. Just up and over the bar, however, a bit offline. And we've seen this before where opposing teams try to test the Central goalies up in their opportunities. Fairchild with a chance off the glass that ends up being deflected from behind the net. This time a chance from the right point for Kringen that gets blocked on the way through. Knights bringing it back up into the neutral zone. This will go loose and taken up on the left side by Devin Walkenfuss. Had a step on the rest of the team. Central trying to change up. Walkenfuss will have to get off the ice at the end of his shift. Knights come back up with Mardo trying to split defenders. Loose puck picked up, a drive in, open net, and a score for Grand Forks Central. Nolan Mardo comes up with the opening score of the game. Mardo gets on the board. The time of the goal will be at 5 minutes and 18 seconds. And Grand Forks Central will take a 1-0 lead in the matchup as Nolan Mardo puts the first opportunity on the board tonight. We'll take a look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Nolan Mardo just stepping in right about here on the line, was able to take advantage of a split in the double team. High slot, got it back to his forehand side, and then the puck went loose, but it sort of nudges in for him. And Grand Forks Central takes a 1-0 lead on the goal by Mardo at 5:18 of the opening period. 1-0 lead in favor of the Knights on the all-true scoreboard. Icing coming up here, and we have a penalty coming up, it would appear as well. Nope, that'll be taken off. It was going to be an offside call against Bemidji. Arm was up for a while, even after Central touched it up, but they wanted Bemidji to get out of the zone. Puck near side of the ice for Grand Forks Central, still waiting for the official scoring on the goal for Nolan Mardo. See if there was another touch in there that would allow for them to give an apple on it. Central changing out some players. And we'll see a draw coming up here on the near side of the ice. And here's the scoring on the goal. Nolan Mardo does come up with a goal. And it's going to be an unassisted goal for Mardo. Mardo all alone at 5:18 will make it a 1-0 lead in favor of Grand Forks Central early in the matchup against Bemidji. Logan Nielsen backing up for the Knights, trying to push one into the neutral zone. Had a target up in front. He was trying to find Brady Kirkeby, but puck was picked off by the Lumberjacks. A touch by Bodie Burris, putting a glove on one to set it down and sends it back up the ice. Sam Presting moving up to the number 3 center spot tonight from a fourth line position, again due to the shuffling with injuries for Grand Forks Central. A puck pulled away on the near side for Bemidji. They step up into the offensive end. Wesley Truax, who started the night, first line going out for Bemidji. Taking one up along the right wing. Logan Nielsen will take it back and plays it off the wall, looking for Burris. Burris being chased. Quinn Niemi coming out as Lumberjacks trying to change up once again. This time Weston Nielsen to play a puck near the net for Grand Forks Central as it comes in deep. Puck off the left boards. Knights trying to play it up. Jacob Spicer got into the neutral zone. Rivard with a wrister that goes wide to the net as Hill takes a look and watches it go by. Loose puck off the far wall. Cal Matfield for the Lumberjacks comes back out to Niemi. Niemi tried to break his way up inside the central line, but it was picked off his stick. Ryder Rivard coming back over towards the right wall for the Knights. Turns one back over towards the right. Be picked up on the right side for Grand Forks Central by Carson Cutterbutt. Has an opportunity to play on the second pair of defenders tonight with the injury to Wyatt Blake. Puck knocked loose. Central had it in the offensive end, then lost control of it. Dawson Schoonover will step through for Bemidji on the right side wall. Schoonover driving his way up into the right circle. Puck went loose, and Cutterbutt went back to get to it for the Knights. Cutterbutt taking a look up the ice, tried to find Rivard. That was knocked back to him. Cutterbutt will drive it all the way to the Bemidji line, dumps it in off his backhand, and Central going to change up 4, actually 3 rather, while there's some pressure up ice from Cooper DeZiel and Trey Clausen. They're at the end of their shift. Puck goes into the far corner, and Cameron Knott off the third line, a winger for the Lumberjacks, drives his way into the corner. He gets turned away by DeZiel, but picks up the puck and drives it back into the corner for Chase Fairchild. Back to Cameron Knott, trying a wraparound play. We'll see a whistle. Net may have come off its pegs. And a draw coming up in the Grand Forks Central zone. It's also an opportunity for a media timeout if they're going to allow us to have one tonight. They haven't called it as of yet. And apparently we're not going to get it. All right. So we'll keep it here. Just under 9 minutes to play in the opening period. Typically that would be a media stoppage here in Grand Forks. Puck off the left wall. Nolan Mardo off to Spicer on the right side. Spicer has one turned away. And a charge back up into the offensive end for Bemidji's Cameron Knott. This will come back towards the right side and rotates back out into the neutral zone. Landon Knott back to pick it up for the Lumberjacks on his own line. Comes back to Eli Kringen. Kringen will dump it back into the central end off of a deflection. Loose puck picked up by Cameron Knott. He tries to get back to it. Instead, Central comes away with the puck. Off the right side, it's Rylan Spicer. He looked for Mardo at center, who got turned around and some contact from behind. Loose puck's picked up there for the Lumberjacks by Taven Welly. And Welly will step back behind his own net, trying to quarterback a breakout. Welly comes out towards the left, able to find Landon Knott rotating up. Knott will send this back to the neutral zone. Nielsen will rotate it back towards the right. That may have been a mistake. A pick away there by Taven Welly, who got a wrister loose, and Weston Nielsen had to make a stop on that. Logan Nielsen charging his way back up into the offensive end. Nielsen a stop just across the line. Will dump that one through, and Central will change him up once again. 1-0 in favor of the Knights on the All True scoreboard. 7:45 to play in the opening period. Kirkaby over to pick it up. Kirkaby squeezing one through on the right side wall. Puck gets knocked loose, turns into a 3-on-3 for Central. They scramble into the far corner. Kirkaby coming over and throwing an elbow on Nathan Wally to turn him away. It's loose again in the corner. Wave at the puck by Sam Presting, but he came up empty. And a puck rotated back out towards the left by Wesley Truax. Knocked down on the high slot. Sam Presting got a piece of it. This will be sent back through, and icing is going to be the call, and that's going to bring us to our media stoppage with 7:18 to play in the opening period. 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central on the All True scoreboard. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Only goal so far tonight has been a goal for Nolan Mardo. Came at 5:18 of the opening period, 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central. The Lumberjacks have had some opportunities offensively. Again, this is a team that has struggled a bit offensively. They've been able to work the puck in a couple of good places. They have not had sustained time up in the offensive end so far. We're back out of our media stoppage. Timeouts brought to you tonight by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region, and Apex Apparel and Promotions, your hometown family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. Cooper DeZiel back to pick up a puck for Grand Forks Central. Had it forced off his stick by Quinn Niemi, who will step up into the offensive end for Bemidji. Niemi takes it back as far as the corner. Going to take a body here and there. Turns it back out to the point, and a shot deflected wild. It was Aiden Graber that got that away, and that bounced twice before Weston Nielsen turned to watch it go empty into the right corner of the ice. Cooper DeZiel trying to charge at a puck that was sent up the ice. Got to it just in front of the goal line. Made a back pass for Rivard, and Rivard couldn't hold on to it. That would have been a golden opportunity for Central, but wild of Rivard, and the Knights have to get back on side. Rivard on the high slot, trying to drop one off to the near side. Panzer into traffic, punch loose. It's out in front of the net for DeZiel, but DeZiel takes a shot and goes down as Landon Knott's body play ends up taking DeZiel out of a golden place to put the puck. It'll be forced back in off the right side by Finn Sitchie for Grand Forks Central. The Knights are going to change up, and Aiden Graber will come back up the ice for the Lumberjacks. 6 minutes to play of the opening period. 1-0 in favor of Central. Weston Nielsen stops a puck behind his own net for the Knights. It works back to Devin Walkenfuss, who will rotate it up into the neutral zone. A pick away there by Nathan Valley. Valley turns up into the offensive end for Cameron Knott. Knott pushed it back behind the central net. Brody Ledegy is back to pick it up for the Knights. And a puck will come back loose towards the near side. Ledegy comes away with it. Fourth liners up into the offensive end for Central. Walkenfuss digging for a loose puck. Got it pinned down along the far wall. Lumberjacks putting on some good pressure. Cameron Knott's been good in that regard tonight. We'll see Ledegy getting back to break up a play for the Lumberjacks. A hit that does nothing for either man right out in front of the net. And a drive that bounced just wide of Weston Nielsen that came off the left point from Nathan Valley. There's been some long-distance opportunities here for Bemidji that have gotten in cleanly from the point. Loose puck fought loose. This is Nielsen up the ice in a drive in that Christian Hill will hold on to and make the stop. Well, that was a good skate up the ice for Nielsen. He drove hard and got up into the offensive end and had an opportunity to put that on the net, but didn't have the opportunity to get that past Christian Hill. We'll draw to the left of Christian Hill in the Bemidji zone. Puck comes back to the high slot. Quick wrister by Spicer, and he got all of it, but sent it just wide. Really well set play off the draw for Grand Forks Central. Loose puck again. Nielsen driving one in. Spicer digging for the loose change after it was blocked on the way through, but this will carry him back out into the neutral zone as Bemidji gets back to it. Under 5 to play in the first period. Cutterbuzz back for the Knights. Turns it back up the left wall. Spicer coming back near side for Walkenfuss. He has Marto on his right, found him. Marto driving in, little back pass. He had a crash coming in from Logan Bina, a defender for Central, more than comfortable pinching up into the offensive end on that play. Bina couldn't quite get it cleanly. Marto plays it off the wall, stick handles through the circle, and plays it back behind the net out of the right corner. Walkenfuss is there, tries to backpedal it to Bina. Instead, that's broken up, picked off by the Lumberjacks, Wesley Truax. He'll push it back into the neutral zone with 4:15 to go. Jumping around on the left side will be a drive from Taven Welly and a rebound that pops back out in front of the net. A couple of times Bemidji's been able to drive that puck off the wall with force and get a rebound that comes out in front of the net. They're looking for someone to step up there as well. Walkenfuss with a backhander that goes loose. Landon Knott will step through the neutral zone for the Lumberjacks. Drives his way into the corner, down the goal line, put it out to his backhand side, and took a hit at the very end of the play from Kaysen Panzer, where he'd had a chance to score. Still 1-0. Bemidji getting a bit better of it from the offensive end as of late. This will be sent back up the ice by Sitchie for Grand Forks Central. A chase to get to it. Sam Presting trying to cut it off, but a good play by Christian Hill to make a transition off to the far boards. And now some hitting on the far wall that leads to a couple of men down, and Nathan Valley coming away with the puck for the Lumberjacks. 3:20 to play first period. Knights come away with control. Puck back into the near circle. Picked up by Brady Kirkaby. He's up ice 2-on-2. Drops one towards the right, looking for Jacob Spicer. Back towards Kirkaby, spilling his way back towards the crease. Kirkaby fights for control behind the net, taking a big handful of body from Cal Matfield. Matfield held him up against the boards, and Niemi comes away with it for the Lumberjacks. Under 3 to play in the first period. Again, Bemidji has found some rhythm here as of late. And there's only 5 shots on goal the entire period. It's a 3-2 shots on goal advantage for Grand Forks Central, but neither team's had a ton of offense, and Bemidji's had a little bit more time in the zone as of late. A lot of block shots for both teams that have really characterized the way this has gone. Rivard comes up with a solid shot on Eli Kringen, but Kringen ended up getting the better of it and then shoves Rivard at the end of the play, while DeZiel picks off a puck back behind the Bemidji net, gets a wrister away short-sided. It's stopped down low by Christian Hill. Loose puck, Clausen had it, fed it back to Rivard, and he scores top shelf. Grand Forks Central will take a 2-0 lead. Ryder Rivard comes up with a goal for Grand Forks Central on a beautiful play for the Knights. And Rivard finding his way top shelf for the goal at 14 minutes and 41 seconds of the period. Let's take a look at it on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, and you'll see the puck come out of the corner. It plays back towards the slot. There's Rivard picking it up, and he goes just underneath the top bar for Grand Forks Central, and that will make it a 2-0 lead. DeZiel picks up an assist on it. Trey Clausen does as well. The entire first line getting in the act. Time of the goal, 14:40, and Rivard is on the board for Grand Forks Central. And the Knights take a 2-0 lead with, again, assists from DeZiel and Clausen, the entire first line getting into the scoring. And we're down to 1:50 to play here in the opening period of action. Central striking quickly. An icing call coming up against Bemidji. We'll head back into the Bemidji zone for a draw. We're at a pivotal point in the matchup now for the Lumberjacks. Bemidji's going to have to find a way to put some offense together. Again, this is a team that scores about 2.5 goals a game. And they've had opportunities tonight. Central's blocked some shots and had a couple of good breaks go their way. So it's not that this team doesn't have the skill. They haven't had a lot of puck luck, and then when you get behind, that can turn into a tough spot, and they're behind right now. Drive up the ice, Ryland Spicer coming in. Walkenfuss looking for a loose puck. Mardo picked it off and made a back pass looking back towards Spicer in the right circle. Walkenfuss fights for the loose puck after we saw Spicer struggle to disengage from a hit from Paul Greiner, who's a third-pair defender for the Lumberjacks, and Greiner put another body into play on that as well. Puck comes back out towards the left. Griffin DeWar will play this back up the ice and chase it for Bemidji. He puts a body back in, but Logan Bina will force a puck back towards the right side wall. Mardo drops one back, actually takes it back from Spicer at center. Mardo off towards the right, trying to widen around a body. Put back out towards Walkenfuss, and the puck ends up being dragged by Mardo on a carom back towards the wall. Mardo got it short-sided down to a knee out of the left circle, blasts one wide. Logan Bina fighting it down the boards. Loose puck off the stick of Walkenfuss. It'll be turned off the far wall again by Bemidji's Griffin DeWar and back into the central end. Down to 40 seconds to play in the opening period. Knights back up with Sam Presting leading the charge. Presting into the corner, driving his way towards the net. Put it back out towards the high slot, looking for a feed to Jacob Spicer. Broken up. Puck will rotate back into the neutral zone. Finn Sitchie will send it back down, and we'll see one off the wall that Christian Hill wants to cover up with 21.1 seconds left to go. Intermission report coming up. We'll take a look at a couple of highlights from the opening period of play. Our intermission report brought to you tonight by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Trey Clausen wins the draw. Knights looking for one more opportunity towards the end of the period. There's a loose puck out in front of the net on Christian Hill. He has to hold his ground, and the Lumberjacks will rally to it and clear it, dropping it down to 10 seconds, but we'll see an icing call that will bring us back into the offensive end for Grand Forks Central for one more opportunity. That's one thing about the Central offense that we've talked about throughout the year. If they're in the offensive end, they have enough skill and enough touch with the puck that they can produce an opportunity with little or no advanced warning. We'll draw it to the right of Christian Hill in the Bemidji zone. It works into the corner. A look at it by Eli Kringen. He's going to pass up on the opportunity. This will drive up into the neutral zone. And we're down to 2, down to 1, and that will be the end of the opening period of play. Central takes a 2-0 lead at the end of the first period of action here tonight, as we get ready to go to our intermission report this evening from Purpur Arena. It's been a fun one so far tonight. Stay with us. Period number 2 promises to be entertaining here tonight, as the Knights will go up against Bemidji in the second with a 2-0 lead on our all-true scoreboard. Our intermission report is on the way next, and it's brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports. And we've got more coming up for you here in just a couple of moments. So we invite you to stay with us for our intermission report coming up next.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports from Purpur Arena this evening. Grand Forks Central with a 2-0 lead on Bemidji as we make our way to our intermission report tonight. Our intermission report is brought to you this evening by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and you can find them online at highplainswater.com. And also brought to you this evening in our intermission report by our friends at Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. And our friends at Grand Forks Welding and Machine are ready to help you get those implements ready to go for the upcoming season. So if you have broken or twisted shafts, you have holes that need tightening to get things ready for your farm implements, take those to Grand Forks Welding and Machine and get them ready to go. With a system from High Plains Water, you're going to enjoy the advantages of treated water, and some of those you might not know about. You're going to talk about cleaner laundry with less detergent. You're talking about some appliances that are going to last longer. That saves you real money. And of course, we're going to be talking about drinking more water at home because you'll get the chemicals out and the taste in at High Plains Water. High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Central taking a 2-0 lead at the end of the opening period. Bemidji had their opportunities offensively. A couple of shots from the point that got through. They had some good bounces off the end wall. There were some places out there where Bemidji really executed what they wanted to do offensively, but they didn't really have the luck to pop through for them like they wanted to in that first period of play. And what they didn't really get was an opportunity to attack the house. Everything came sort of from the boundaries. If you're talking about the point, the wall, they had a couple that were steep angles, maybe behind the net, that drove them in there, but they didn't have an opportunity to skate free. Grand Forks Central committed to their back check to a certain extent, and that allowed the Knights to keep them from finding the back bar, and that puts Grand Forks Central on top by a score of 2-0. Let's take a look at our highlights from the opening half, and the highlights brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent in Grand Forks, and the first opportunity comes from Nolan Mardo, who picks up a puck right here and turns it into an offensive opportunity. It doesn't take him long. He drives one off his backhand side, a little awkwardly at the end, but he was able to make it work. And the second opportunity, Central scores, just finding a great pass to Ryder Rivard right in the heart of the slot. Rivard goes bar down or just underneath the bottom bar for a big goal for Grand Forks Central to make it a score of 2-0 at that point. So goals so far tonight from Nolan Mardo, who you'd expect to get into the scoring, and also Ryder Rivard with a goal in that first period as well to keep Central moving forward. Let's take a look at our scoring summary that we have for you tonight with Who Lit the Lamp, and it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. And tonight, 2 goals for Grand Forks Central. Nolan Mardo all alone. That one came at 5:18 of the opening period. And also Central gets a goal from Ryder Rivard tonight with assists going to Cooper DeZiel and Trey Clausen, and that is the first line that's playing together this evening Trey Clausen moving up to the first line with the absence of Che Kwame, and Clausen centering that line, and all three men get a touch on that goal for Ryder Rivard as Rivard puts one underneath the bottom bar for the second goal of the night for Central, and that came at 14:41. So who lit the lamp tonight? Nolan Mardo with a goal, Ryder Rivard with a goal for Grand Forks Central. And that is Who Lit the Lamp. And Who Lit the Lamp is brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Well, we'll have some news and notes about Eastern Dakota Conference hockey coming up here in a couple of moments, so stay with us for that. And we'll continue our intermission report in just a couple of moments as well. Brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. This is high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics, we craft your vision, you watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to GrandForksWelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports tonight. We're at Purpur Arena, downtown Grand Forks, for some Friday night hockey tonight. Grand Forks Central and Bemidji in an interstate matchup, and right now the Lumberjacks trailing the Knights by a score of 2-0 at the end of the opening period of play. Ryan Cunningham along with Joey Springer and Luca Carpenter with our videography work tonight. Goals by Nolan Mardo at 5:18 and Ryder Rivard at 14:40 to put the Knights on the board twice in the opening period. Intermission report brought to you tonight by our friends at High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Well, one more week of regular season hockey in North Dakota, then it's time to go to tournament time. And for those of you that might have missed it back in the pregame report, Central will be the #1 seed going into the East region, and Red River will be the #2 seed going into the East region. 3, 4, 5, and 6 to be determined in some fashion. And we know the play-in matchups, and so our first matchup from the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament will come your way on 2 Saturdays from now. It'll be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it will be in Grafton, where Grafton Park River will take on West Fargo. That'll be the 8-9 matchup, and it's win or go home in the play-in round. The winner advances to the East Region Tournament, and the team that comes up short will have their season come to an end. So we're getting to that point of the year now where it becomes loser out. Every single one of these hockey seasons eventually turns into that. We'll have that matchup for you from the East Region Tournament coming up on Saturday afternoon, and that would be the 14th. That'll be Valentine's Day. And we'll have it for you coming up here on KNOX Live Sports. So video coverage of that event coming up on Saturday. That's a first for us. We will be the exclusive home for video coverage of the Eastern Dakota Conference Hockey Tournament once again this year. We're looking forward to bringing it to you coming up on Saturday, and that will be our start of tournament activity. It's 2-0 Knights as we get ready for period number 2 in our matchup. And we'll do that for you coming up in a couple of moments here on KNOX Live Sports. The second period of action is next.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our number one.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports tonight. We come to you from Purpur Arena, where after a period of play, Grand Forks Central leads Bemidji by a score of 2-0. And our intermission report tonight brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Our next hockey coverage will be Tuesday night over at Blue Line Iceplex, formerly Eagles Arena here in Grand Forks, as the Rough Riders come home for Senior Day. And they'll take on the Fargo Shanley Deacons. We'll have that matchup for you coming up on Tuesday for Senior Day. And I know that next weekend, a number of our programs in Grand Forks that are not high school programs, the Bantam program and the Grand Forks Stallions will be having their either Senior Day or graduation day, if you will, in the Bantams. Players playing their final year of Bantam hockey before it's time to move on to the next level. And I'll have an opportunity to see some of that as we'll be behind a different microphone coming up next Saturday, or Sunday rather, next Sunday. It'll be as a public address announcer to send those players off to the next level in style. And hopefully we'll have a great weekend coming up next weekend as well here in Grand Forks. We get set for period number 2, West Truax versus Trey Clausen for the draw. Central wins the opening draw of the second period, leading by a score of 2-0. Ryder Rivard, who's got a goal so far tonight, feeds Clausen going down the heart of the slot, and Clausen couldn't quite hold it cleanly. This works back out to Burris to drive into traffic. Clausen looked to knock it down and play with a rebound, but couldn't reel it up cleanly, and Truax will come away with possession for Bemidji. Truax leads it into the corner. Bodie Burris will pick it up, rotates it back off towards the left for Rivard. Rivard comes rink wide, waiting for DeZiel, who steps up into the offensive end. Back to Rivard, rink wide. Shot from the circle that's knocked away by Christian Hill. It ends up behind the net, and Central couldn't contain the rebound, but DeZiel picks one off. Had Rivard set up for a one-timer. Now DeZiel with a short snap shot and ends up sending it wide of the net and into the corner. Loose puck off the far wall. It'll be picked up there by Eli Kringen for Bemidji, but Central with a lot of momentum offensively on this first shift of the second period, and Christian Hill will cover it up. We'll see a draw coming up in the Bemidji Lumberjacks zone. That was 55 seconds of pure mayhem for Grand Forks Central. We'll get ready for a draw coming up in the Bemidji end with 16:05 to play in the first. And the drop will be taken by Nolan Mardo for Grand Forks Central, who has the other goal for the Knights so far tonight. Puck goes loose in the circle, comes out towards the right side. A look by Quinn Niemi. He'll turn it up into the offensive end. Found Schoonover with a shot from the point. Niemi chases the loose puck back into the corner. Schoonover had it off the wall and then had to take it away. Trey Clausen comes up with it. Correction, not Trey Clausen, but rather Gavin Walkenfuss. He'll look up ice trying to find Mardo. His shot gets knocked aside. Niemi comes away with a loose puck. He'll turn it back to Cal Matfield. Matfield trying to step through the zone, lost it behind him, but Landon Knott, good support for Bemidji, tries to jump around the defense of Carson Cutterba and takes it back into the corner. Puck back behind the net again. Niemi rotating it back out towards the right. Stop and go drive off that right side again for Aiden Graber. Bemidji is taking a lot of effort from the, I guess you could call it wings, to try to get some shots through tonight. They may know that trying to attack the house against Central might be not a futile effort, but certainly difficult, so they're putting on shots from a lot of angles here. A loose puck, Cutterbuck comes up the ice, able to find Mardo. Correction, Ryland Spicer with a chance. Spicer's wrister gets turned aside. He's on the end of his opportunity. Turns it back to the point. Now will step off to complete a line change, and Brady Kirkaby will chase it for Grand Forks Central back into the far corner. Landon Knott turns it away on the net and brings it back out to center ice. Long pass for Niemi that couldn't be held. Chase Fairchild in the midst of a change for Bemidji forces one weakly towards the central net, and Weston Nielsen will cover it up. We'll see a draw coming up in the central zone with 14:37 left of the second period. Our coverage of high school hockey brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks and Devils Lake. The PS stands for perfect service, and if it's service on your garage door, they have it for you at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks and Devils Lake. Call 772-DOOR. Kirkaby trying to fight one loose on the point for Central. Good fight by Kirkaby to turn that back into the neutral zone. Presting trying to pull free, and the puck will be driven back into the neutral zone by Bemidji's number 19, Paul Greiner. Didn't find him on the list there, in fact. Was looking for him for a while. Greiner stepping out early. He's now playing with Nathan Valley as Bemidji's changing up their defensive combinations here. Greiner was listed as a third pair defender. We only saw him for one, maybe two shifts, at least, where we saw him make contact with the puck and getting the opportunity to play early here in the second period. Loose puck left side, Truax put on from the circle, deflected wide again. That's another opportunity where Bemidji created and comes up just empty. Cameron Knott turned that in from the left wall and ends up having it deflected wide. We'll come back into the Bemidji zone, and just a hard tackle that's made by Grand Forks Central's Jacob Spicer. Not sure how he didn't get called for a penalty, but meanwhile Bemidji comes out with it. Taven Welly's had a good shot tonight. They set up a great chance down the heart of the slot, and it goes just wide on an opportunity from Wes Truax, and give Welly credit for setting up the play. Loose puck, Mason Bensley for Grand Forks Central, driving back behind the Knights net. It'll come back out to Landon Knott for the Lumberjacks, and Knott will turn it back up into the offensive end. Central with Bodie Burris coming up the ice for the Knights. Burris gets away a shot that'll be held by Christian Hill, and we'll draw coming up in the Lumberjack zone. Well, there is a matchup that the Lumberjacks were able to win, but it took Taven Welly and Wes Truax, their top scoring line, going up against elements of the third and fourth line for Grand Forks Central to find some opportunities. The Knights will bring out their fourth line to start this shift. Brody Ledegy will take the draw against Wes Truax. So, I mean, this is a tough matchup for Grand Forks Central. Line 4 for the Knights versus the most productive line that Bemidji puts on the ice on a regular basis on this matchup. Burris trying to hold a puck in the neutral zone. It's played free off the left side by Truax and goes deep into the central end. Nielsen surveying his options, backhands it back to the left side for Burris. They try to leak one up the wall for Rivard. Rivard coming out at the beginning of a change, and this will bring it back up the ice for Central. A wave at a wrister from Devin Walkenfuss. He comes up empty. Puck will twist back into the neutral zone. Truax had a touch for Bemidji, but Burris will take it back for Central. Walkenfuss again looking up into the offensive end. Takes it on the point, trying to find Rivard up on the left side of the slot. It'll be fought free by Walkenfuss behind the net. He chases it down, but it'll flow back into the neutral zone as Bemidji gets back up the ice. Logan Bina with a touch. This comes back to Clausen on the line. Rivard and Clausen battle for control. Bina from the half line turns one back down. This will be knocked back into the neutral zone and picked up there for the Lumberjacks by Griffin DeWar. DeWar drives it up into the offensive end and has a shot, goes wide of the net. Loose puck to DeZiel. Here come the Knights on the rush. DeZiel stopping, coming back left side. Great pass to Bean. Another drive in on Christian Hill. And Hill will hold on to the whistle, and that'll bring us to a media stoppage with 11:49 to play of the second period. We have a timeout. It's 2-0 Central on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Scoreboard updates brought to you by Altru, and we're back with more in just a couple of moments.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Ryan Cunningham with you here tonight from Purpur Arena, where we'll come out of the media stoppage. Timeouts brought to you tonight by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. And brought to you by Apex Apparel and Promotions, your hometown family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. We'll draw in the Bemidji zone. And we'll see a draw between Ryder Rivard and Cal Matfield. Rivard trying to knock it free, and DeZiel had a chance at a shot, but it ends up going over the top of the puck. Quinn Niemi comes away with it for Bemidji and drives one deep. It'll work into the corner. Cutterba over to try to cut it off. Truax got there first for the Lumberjacks. And now off the left side will be Cal Matfield fighting for control. But again, we'll see DeZiel coming out with it, puts a hit on as the puck was jabbed off his stick. Cutterba was able to keep it moving freely. Clausen had it, lost it, steps back up into the offensive end, takes a hit, doesn't move anywhere. That was a good shot that was put in on him that time. Right on top of the line by Paul Greiner, but again, we just didn't see Clausen move. Puck goes loose, top of the crease, dangerously for a moment as the Knights fought it free on a miscue from Bemidji, but this will be cleared up by the Lumberjacks and back into the central end. Pass looking for Mardo. This will be tipped up by the Lumberjacks right as it came across the line, so they'll wave off the icing here. Rivard trying to drop one back for DeZiel. Mardo a touch with it as well. DeZiel waving at it. Loose puck is picked up off the near side wall by Greiner. He drove it back into the neutral zone. Left side, Kaysen Panzer comes up with it for the Knights. Keeps things moving, and now Ryder Rivard coming off the ice and holding at his left arm. So the Knights, already injured, now have one of their mainstay scorers coming to the bench with an unknown injury. Loose puck left side, picked up by Walkenfuss for Grand Forks Central. Long pass up the ice for Mardo that he wasn't looking for. Walkenfuss will turn a man to the wall, but Aiden Graber was able to fight it free for the Lumberjacks, and they go to work in the offensive end. Graber stop a look, drive into traffic. Nielsen gave up a fat rebound, but Cameron Knott didn't find it in time. Puck loose into the neutral zone. Mardo steps up the ice, tries to pull around a defender, drives his way towards the net, and Christian Hill makes another big stop for the Lumberjacks as Nolan Mardo got a good charge coming in on it. Hill will surrender the puck to the official, and we'll get things ready to go for another draw with 10:07 to play in the second period. Still 2-0 Grand Forks Central on the all-true scoreboard. Knights fighting for a loose puck. Somebody's was without their twig, and actually Grand Forks Central ends up making contact. I think that was Walkenfuss that ended up driving Christian Hill's stick away from him on the back end of the ice after Hill lost it. Cameron Knott trying to get a shot away. This deflects and spins way up in the air towards the far corner. We got some of the Aviators here tonight from the Grand Forks Youth Program taking this one in uniform tonight. That's nice to see. They may have a game going on over on Gambucci tonight. Knights getting back up into the offensive end. Puck will go free back into the Grand Forks Central zone, and Bemidji's going to try to take advantage of a change. Central cherry picks on it. Walkenfuss waiting for it. Tried to make a pass to center for Sam Presting, but it was held up. And now the Lumberjacks fast breaking away. Truax a stop and go. Tried to get the shot loose, and Bodie Burris knocked it free before Truax could get the shot away, and we'll see a puck deflected out of play. The shots are now 14-7 Central in the second period. And that's a bit of a problem right now for the Lumberjacks. They got outshot heftily at the end of the opening period, And now getting outshot again here throughout the course of the second. Central's had a lot of momentum, even though Bemidji had a couple of stretches here in this second period where they had time. Still 2-0 Knights, however. Left side, Logan Bina for Central. Bina turns it back out towards the left. This one got through everybody. Kirkaby trying to drive into a problem with Nathan Valley. Creates the problem. One-timer off the knee that gets stopped by Hill. Great one-time shot from Jacob Spicer, and it was set up well by Kirkaby. And now Bemidji comes back and forces a wobbler towards the net that Nielsen will turn aside. Knights leading 2-0, getting to the halfway point of the second period. Puck comes back out to the neutral zone. Loose puck picked up by Paul Greiner, and we'll see an offside call perhaps, or a puck was touched by the Bemidji bench, maybe the call. They had pointed towards the Bemidji zone, but I think we're going to see this draw coming up on the line. Or will it be at center? Looks like we're coming right back to the center dot to take this draw. Brody Ledegy will report to the dot, and he'll take the drop against Cal Matfield. And the Lumberjacks will win control of it. Aiden Graber stepping up into the offensive end. Graber really pinching deep with possession of the puck. He didn't look to set things up from the point. He wanted to keep play moving north and south, and so he took one right at the net. Logan Bina will deflect it back out. It's a risk for Bemidji that perhaps they feel like they're going to have to take. You got numbers going up. The problem with it, obviously, no numbers coming back if you end up losing control of it. Central getting a wave up front, and a wave out of puck that time by Brody Ledegy that comes up empty. Puck comes back to Logan Bina. He tries to play one back down to Ledegy in the heart of the slot. Ledegy fighting off severe pressure from behind of Aiden Graber to force the puck back out to center. And it's dragged there by Dawson Schoonover for Bemidji. Back up the ice, Schoonover dodges a hit, leaves it back into the corner. Landon Knott, another defenseman, pinching deep off a change. Central tried to catch them with it, but couldn't get the puck out cleanly. This works back to the high slot for Landon Knott. Shot from the left wing coming in from Matfield, and the stop made by Weston Nielsen, and he'll hold for the whistle. That was 7:41 left to go in the second period. We'll come back for another draw coming up in the Grand Forks Central zone. Still 2-0. Goals in the opening period from Nolan Mardo at 5:18 and Ryder Rivard at 14:40. The only scoring that we have so far in this one tonight. Knights win a draw. Cooper DeZiel coming out with it. Had it poke checked off his stick, but he reaches back and now has a 3-on-1 odd man. The pass, Rivard back to DeZiel, and they score. Wow. What a play in that situation that will be made by Grand Forks Central. Beautiful up and down play from DeZiel to Rivard and back to DeZiel for the score. And Grand Forks Central takes a 3-0 lead, and that was like lightning. Boy, let's take a look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. And it was DeZiel fighting the puck free, turns into a 3-on-1. Rivard right back to DeZiel. The opening was there, and it doesn't get a whole lot prettier than that as Grand Forks Central takes a 3-0 lead on Cooper DeZiel's goal.
Number 15, Cooper DeZiel.
DeZiel will pick up the goal.
Assist to number 17,
They're going to give an assist to Clausen and Ryder Rivard. So the whole first line will get active in the scoring again.
Knights goal time, 9:28.
The official goal time will be at 9 minutes and 28 seconds. And that first line has got 6 points tonight. And it's 3-0 Grand Forks Central. Well, the Knights with a big opportunity there, and they take advantage on one of the prettier plays that you're going to see. Nolan Mardo wins a draw for Grand Forks Central on the Bemidji line. And we'll see a play off the glove of Christian Hill and driven back behind the net, but the Knights starting to put on some more offensive pressure here. Panzer drives one towards the net. Hill will glove that up and hold for another whistle. Clock under 7 to play. Central coming into the night 15-2, 0-2. And the Lumberjacks coming into the night 5-8-1 on the season. Again, the big story for Bemidji this year is just starve for offense. A power play, that's the thing. We haven't seen anything when it comes down to special teams tonight, but Bemidji's power play is something we're going to talk about if we get there. Walkenfuss turning back onto the top of the crease, and this will be knocked free back into the neutral zone by Bemidji. Loose puck picked up by Taven Welly, who's had a nice night for Bemidji. Set up a couple of nice plays for the Lumberjacks when they've had opportunities. Walkenfuss trying to drag the puck free in the right wall, ends up having it jabbed off his stick. Logan Bina will go back to get it for the Knights in the Grand Forks Central zone. Bina turning one back up into the neutral zone. Fight for control there as we see Jacob Spicer stepping in. Spicer will have it deflected back. Loose puck goes back to Bodie Burris. On the left side, Nielsen turning one back up into the offensive end, or toward it anyway. It'll be picked off there by Landon Knott for Bemidji. Puck on the far wall. Knights get numbers there, and it's pulled free as Walkenfuss sends it back up into the offensive end. Sam Presting will rotate back over towards the right wall. Turns it back into the corner. Walkenfuss driving towards the net, had a touch on one, and Christian Hill was able to stop it, and that's going to bring us to another media stoppage. With 5:57 to play in the second period. Knights leading by a score of 3-0 on our All True scoreboard. Timeouts brought to you by Apex Apparel and brought to you by Big Jim's Tire. We're back with more high school hockey next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Logan Nielsen and Weston Nielsen. Pair of Nielsens for this Grand Forks Central team, and Nielsen right now trying to pitch the shutout for Grand Forks Centrals. The Knights have a 3-0 lead over the Bemidji Lumberjacks. We'll have a draw coming up out of the media timeout in the Lumberjack zone. Central getting the latest score from Cooper DeZiel, and their first line tonight, Clausen, DeZiel, Rivard, is combined for 6 points as the Central Knights have a 3-0 lead. Puck loose behind Christian Hill, and the Lumberjacks back in their end. Lumberjacks break out with it. Puck will come back towards the near side. Aiden Graber, who's played well defensively tonight for Bemidji, trying to force one up ice. Bina comes with a takeaway. He forced it through the neutral zone, and we'll see an icing call. That's going to bring us back into the Grand Forks Central zone. So we'll draw back in the Knights' end with 5:35 to play in the second period. And the real issue here for Bemidji, you take a look at the shots advantage. Bemidji had 2. They're up to 8 right now, but they've been outshot 12-6 in the second period. Outshot 6-2 in the first. It was not a big offensive first period for anybody, but it's just Central with that forecheck that has been relentless here again tonight. And when Bemidji's had opportunities, there have been some blocked shots. The points have been defended pretty well by Central. Puck on the right side into a 2-on-1 odd man, and another chance for Bemidji just off the end of a stick. They cannot catch a break. Taven Welly was there. The puck comes loose back to the high slot. Griffin DeWard turns it back towards the point. Taken off on the right side by Eli Kringen. Now near side, Landon Knott trying to drive in. Welly put it back out in front again and had a big one-timer set up for DeWard that he couldn't catch. There's another opportunity for Bemidji. 2 on this shift where they didn't get a credit for a shot on goal. I guess they did get 1 in that sequence, but in the long run, could have much better opportunities, and the puck just a little slippery. Here's a wave on a wrist shot that time from Eli Kringen. He drives one in, the puck dangles free in the high slot momentarily. It'll be played off the wall by Jacob Spicer, but again, we see the Lumberjacks getting active in that situation and just not able to turn it into something that goes on the scoreboard. Clock will halt with 4:32 to play second period. Timeouts and draws tonight brought to you by Apex Apparel, your hometown family-owned and operated promotional shop, and Big Jim's Tire, the #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. We draw on the central end. Puck loose into the corner, and the Lumberjacks feeling some momentum right now, trying to pick that one up and rotate it back towards the right side. Pinned up against the wall is Brandon Martinka, as he gets stuck. Martanka, rather, I apologize. He gets stuck along the far boards. Fourth liner coming out for a shift now for Bemidji. Puck loose back in the Bemidji zone. Picked up by Clausen. Open pass towards the right side. Knights trying Finn Sitchie. Back to Clausen with a one-time chance that was blocked on the way through. May have hit his teammate Ryder Rivard. Puck loose in the corner for Landon Knott for the Lumberjacks. Turns it back out towards the left. A hold by Martanka on the right side. This will come back into the corner once again. Valley trying to play it out. Cooper DeZiel turning, getting into the circle, scissoring through defenders. Put it to the right side, and Rivard hit a pipe. Great pass to Ryder Rivard, who was true on a one-timer, and he hit a pipe. Rivard stays after the loose puck. Clausen turning it back towards the corner. This works back towards the wall, and boy, Bemidji has no choice but to ice the puck and get it out of their end. Let me apologize to our Bemidji audience. It is Brandon Martinka, not Martanka. Had to do a couple of quick translations tonight with some bad handwriting, and that bad handwriting belongs to me, by the way. 3-0 your score with 3:32 left to go here in period number 2. And we'll draw to the left of Christian Hill, who's had his work cut out for him here in this second period. Grand Forks Central's peppered him with shots. Spicer trying to take a pass from Marto back behind the net. Goes loose behind the net once again. Cal Matfield was there for a touch. Now this rotates back up to Quinn Niemi. Niemi taking a look, trying to thread the needle for Schoonover on the right side. Too strong. We'll have an icing call coming up. That's going to bring us back into the Bemidji zone for another draw. Had a net empty there as well. We're going to see a penalty called here. Nope. Connor McCarty just stepping over to make sure that the teams don't want to change up. And we'll draw back in the Bemidji zone. A simple icing call here. That brought us back. Off the boards, Niemi trying for a touch-up. Instead, it's picked up on the left side by Gavin Walkenfuss. Walkenfuss goes feeding Spicer. Marto waved that one. Walkenfuss got it back. It's loose in front of Hill. Hill can't find it. Driven in by Spicer. Deflects towards the left wall. Spicer coming back over to get it, and it plays back out towards Dawson Schoonover. He wasn't able to find it. Logan Nielsen will go find the puck for Grand Forks Central behind his own net. Down to 2:45 to play here in the second period. Long play up the ice that gets picked off in the neutral zone. Turned back up the ice that time by Paul Greiner, who we've been pretty impressed with tonight as far as the defenseman for the Lumberjacks. He's been active. Marto up the ice, surveying his options left circle. Great pass right side. Drive coming in from Spicer, and Christian Hill came over to rob him. That's another well set up play for Grand Forks Central. And once more, Christian Hill had to make a really big play for Bemidji to keep that from going into the net. Oofta. That second line of Marto, Walkenfuss, and Spicer, they have the ability to put things together lightning fast. Knights will go to their fourth line. Brody Ledecky taking a draw. Puck comes loose into the neutral zone. Cutterba played it up into the offensive end. It was kicked back on a kick from Landon Knott. And now a loose puck back into the neutral zone is fished free by Grafton DeWar. We see a drive from Wesley Truax that's up and over the bar once again. Another shot for Truax. Shooting percentage for Bemidji, I think, is something that we were going to talk about coming up tonight. We'll take a look at our keys to the game coming up here in a couple of moments, brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Didn't quite have the opportunity to bring that to you. A couple of technical issues in our pregame report tonight that caused us to miss an element or two that we wanted to get to. Our friends from Bemidji decided that they needed some power here and got here a little bit later than perhaps they wanted to, and so we had to make some quick adjustments, and that put a delay into our plans to bring you this one tonight. But I guess all's fair as long as everybody gets on the air. I don't think that's the way it goes, but puck will go into the crowd. Keys to the game tonight brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Every stick, every pad, every skate, sharpening tactic that you need to gain the edge that you're looking for Bemidji. One of the things we talked about, shot selection. Their shot percentage this year, under 10%. Power play success, under 6% this season. That tells you why this team has been starved offensively, and we've seen that again tonight. Shot after shot up and over the bar. We haven't seen it on the power play as of yet, but again, they've had opportunities, and their percentage just hasn't allowed them to get to the net tonight in a number of different occasions, and trying to pick that up is key for them this evening. Again, our keys to the game brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season. Jacob Spicer rotating one back through the neutral zone. No icing here. We'll go into the final minute of period number 2. Eli Kringen trying to play one out for the Lumberjacks. Knights leading 3-0. Puck in the corner. And a stop up against the wall is Chase Fairchild through a body. Fairchild brings it back out. Got it into the neutral zone for Cameron Knott. Knott gets turned around on the far wall by Kaysen Panzer. A jab knocked it free, and now Panzer steps back to the line. He'll give way to Bodie Burris, who will turn one back up to the Bemidji line. It will be sent back in behind Christian Hill, who's been good tonight again for the Lumberjacks. Play up the far boards, chip off the far wall. That'll be made there by Cameron Bentfield. And now we'll see an offside call coming up against the Knights with 24.1 seconds left to go here in the second period. 3-0 on the All True scoreboard. Scoreboard updates brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Puck back to Landon Knott from Aiden Graber off the draw. Knott will push it up the ice. They're waving off icing here as well. Burris into the corner. Lost an edge as he got in there. It's turned back into the neutral zone with 10 seconds left. The pass up the ice deflected. And I think Bemidji thought they were offside, so they were getting out. Now one quick opportunity. Weston Nielsen with a big save and a follow-up up and over the bar from Landon Knott after Dawson Schoonover hit Weston Nielsen right in the shield on the front of his sweater. There was a follow-up from Knott that was up and over the bar again. And some of those issues that we just talked about a couple of moments ago with the Lumberjacks continue as they have a couple of opportunities that both just end up and over the crossbar, and they're unable to put one truly on the net, and that leads to another situation where they are shut out at the end of period number 2, and a frustrating night continues for the Lumberjacks. Meanwhile, Grand Forks Central tacks on, and the Knights have a 3-0 lead over the Bemidji Lumberjacks as we make our way into period number 3 of our action. This is our coverage of high school hockey. Our intermission report is on the way next, and we'll continue with more in a moment on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens.
At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto in Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports this evening from Purpur Arena in Grand Forks, where the Grand Forks Central Knights extend their lead over the Bemidji Lumberjacks to 3-0 in the second period. The Knights getting another big goal from their first line tonight as Trey Clausen, Cooper DeZiel, and Ryder Rivard are showing some real promise skating together, with Clausen moving up there in the absence of Che Kwame. And the Knights have had all kinds of production this season from Mardo, Walkenfuss, and Spicer. If Rivard, Clausen, and DeZiel really start to catch fire here towards the end of the year, This is going to be a very, very interesting opportunity for Grand Forks Central to put all kinds of offensive pressure on their colleagues in North Dakota hockey coming up towards the upcoming Eastern Dakota Conference and eventually state tournaments. We welcome you to our intermission report tonight. Our intermission report is brought to you tonight by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Again, with a system from High Plains Water, you're going to drink more water around your home, and that will make you healthier. Why? Because we're going to get the chemicals out, we're going to get the taste in. Great tasting tap water. You're going to have cleaner laundry with less detergent, which is going to save you money. You know what else will save you money? Appliances that last longer. High Plains Water, your source for awesome water. And Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, with an opportunity to get you ready to go for the upcoming season. If you have broken or twisted shafts, holes that need tightening, any repair work that you need on your implements before you get out and going into the upcoming season, then you need Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel at 1812 Gateway Drive. Central outshoots Bemidji 14-9 in the second period, but one of the things we began to talk about at the end of the second period is maybe some shot selection for Bemidji. We mentioned their shot percentage is just a little over 9% on the year, and when they're taking shots, they're either being taken from tough angles where shots are being blocked, or they've missed the crossbar a number of times tonight. If you were a Lumberjacks fan, you could almost be a little frustrated watching puck after puck end up going over the bar, and you've got Weston Nielsen, you've got the opposition's goalie kind of sprung out in a spot where maybe they're in some trouble. You've gained some offensive advantage, and then the shot that you end up getting just isn't in a place where it can do some damage for you, and that happened on a handful of opportunities for Bemidji in that second period. And Central takes advantage, building their lead up to a score of 3-0. Let's take a look at a highlight from the second period with our American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. A pretty goal here. Cooper DeZiel starts a break for Central. Pass to Rivard, back to DeZiel, and DeZiel has an open net to work with at that point, and Grand Forks Central ends up coming up with a big opportunity there. Just touch to touch on that one, and Grand Forks Central gets a 3-0 lead on Cooper DeZiel's goal. And our highlights brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent in Grand Forks. How about a look at our scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp? And it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. So you saw that goal. The entire first line gets into the scoring act with DeZiel getting the goal. Trey Clausen, Ryder Rivard coming up with the assists on that goal. And it came at 9:28 of the second period. That's 6 points for that line tonight. Rivard, a goal and a helper. DeZiel with that goal and a helper, and Trey Clausen has assisted on both of those goals this evening. So 6 points for the line of Clausen, Rivard, and DeZiel, with Cooper DeZiel scoring that goal tonight. And Cooper has had a great year for Grand Forks Central. But Cooper DeZiel lights the lamp in the second period for the Knights, and that's Who Lit the Lamp. And it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll try to check in on some scores and see if other things are happening in North Dakota high school hockey tonight. So stay with us as we continue with our coverage from Purpur Arena and Grand Forks, North Dakota. Grand Forks Central leading by a score of 3-0 over Bemidji. This is high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports tonight. It's our intermission report, and our intermission report tonight is brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you tonight as well by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. The Men of Steel. We do have some games tonight as we take a look at our All True scoreboard that are in progress. Our scoreboard updates are brought to you tonight by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Some games that are in progress tonight. West Fargo in North Dakota leading Bismarck Century. That game is 1-0, and it may be, rather just in the first period at this point. Quinn Bosch has scored a goal for the West Fargo Packers in that matchup tonight, and that makes it 1-0 Packers over Bismarck Century. Also in progress tonight, Mayport area is up against Bismarck High. There's something to talk about in that one as well, which we'll get to. They just got started with that one out in Bismarck. Bottineau Rugby with a quick 2-0 lead over Williston. That game faced off at 7:15 this evening, and Bottineau Rugby scored a couple of times already to take a 2-0 lead over Williston. Gavin Barch and Grady Glasner coming up with goals for Bottineau Rugby in that matchup. Other games we're expecting later tonight. Minot United and Mandan will play this evening out in the Western Dakota Association, and Dickinson and Jamestown are scheduled to play coming up tonight as well. Mayport and Hazen will play tomorrow, so Mayport making a weekend trip of it, going out to Bismarck and then playing in Hazen, and they'll stay in the capital city coming up tonight. We can take a look at the West Region standings while we have an opportunity, since we've been taking a look at the Eastern Dakota Conference tonight. The Western Dakota Association, as far as their standings going into the final week of regular season hockey. Minot United expected to have a very good team this year. Now, they were hurt by some early departures for junior hockey, but still have managed to put together a 42-point season with a record of 13-2. That puts them 2 points ahead of Bismarck Legacy, who's 11-3. Mandan and Bismarck Century are currently in third and fourth place. Century with 29, Mandan with 31, Jamestown with 27. So there's a good fight there. 3, 4, and 5. Remember, you've got to be in the top 4 in order to make it to the state tournament after the East Region tournament's over. Bismarck High with 21 points playing Mayport tonight. And, the situation with Mayport, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, Mayport, if there were two classes of hockey in North Dakota, Mayport would be the team that would obviously be a qualifier for Class B and be very good down there as well. They made the East Region tournament a year ago. And right now we just don't have what it takes to have two classes of hockey. A lot of times people ask, especially when you're familiar with hockey in Minnesota, they make the two-class system work so easily. Although I think some people would say there's some holes in the two-class system in Minnesota as well. For those of you that are Minnesota fans tuning in tonight, one of the big gaping holes that there seems to be is exactly how many teams have a chance at winning a state tournament at the 1A level every year. Now, those of you that are hockey versed would say, well, it might be the same at the 2A level as well, and maybe that's the case. But for example, this year in Section 8A in this part of the state, it seems like War Road and East Grand Forks are on a collision course for another section championship game. But in North Dakota, the High School Activities Association demands that 24 teams sponsor hockey or any sport before you have 2 classifications of it. Right now, North Dakota has 20. North Dakota will be at 22 within a year or two. Minot United, as you heard, referred to in the West Region standings, will become Minot North and Minot High. They've always been Minot High. Minot North is the new high school in Minot. They have their own football team. They have their own basketball teams, but they've kept the hockey program together. And the other will be when West Fargo Horace separates from West Fargo Cheyenne. And I think both of those programs are supposed to be on the ice within the next 2 years. And that leaves you with 22. Can you find 2 more? Well, Watford City out in the western part of North Dakota, that high school has really grown, and they put a lot of money into facilities for hockey in Watford City. They have a very well-established junior gold program. And then there's Wahpeton Breckenridge, or Breckenridge Wahpeton. Wahpeton left North Dakota hockey and co-opted with Breckenridge, and they play in Minnesota Class A. But if there were 2 classes, I think Breck might make the trip back across the river. So there is a roadmap to get to 2 classes of hockey in North Dakota, but that roadmap's going to take some doing down the road. So Mayport continues to take the automatic 10 seed every year in the East Region to avoid playing Grand Forks Central, Grand Forks Red River, and so on. And they try to make their way into the East Region tournament by winning a play-in game and then seeing what they can do from there. Here, this one's 3-0. You may have seen the puck just stick on the ice. They had to wait an extra couple of moments for the ice to cure. Trey Clausen on the right, looking towards the right side, trying to find Cooper DeZiel. He'll be chased down by Nathan Valley in the far wall. Logan Bina pinching up into the offensive end, puts in a flutterer on Christian Hill, and Hill will hold on for the whistle. 38 seconds into the period, and we'll see the Knights and the Lumberjacks taking a draw coming up in the Bemidji zone. Again, we'll be your official home for video coverage of Eastern Dakota Conference hockey this year. That tournament getting started a week from tomorrow with the play-in matchups. Central winning the draw and a wave on a one-timer by Walkenfuss. This will float back to the neutral zone, and Carson Cutterba will go back to get it for Grand Forks Central. Cutterba being chased, the puck went loose. Bina was there to recover. Turned it back out for Rylan Spicer. Spicer rotates back towards the net. Now Bina will step in and pick up a loose puck again. Bina trying to step up the ice, drops one off towards the right for Mardo. Mardo up the wall, trying to force into the Bemidji end. Central gains the offensive zone, but only briefly. This will be picked off by Landon Knott. Knott feeds up ahead for Dawson Schoonover. Schoonover taking a look, goes back to Knott in the corner, waves at one, and he had Niemi out in front of the net. Niemi with a touch on it and pushed it just wide on a jab of the puck. Central tries to clear, does so, but this will be icing. And we'll head back into the Grand Forks Central zone for a draw. A minute 25 into the period, and our coverage tonight brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. Devils Lake Grand Forks, so the PS stands for Perfect Service at PS Garage Doors. We draw on the Grand Forks Central end. I may have said Bemidji, my apologies. Puck goes back behind the net, and it's picked up by Chase Fairchild for Bemidji. They'll turn it back from behind the net, a little backhander out to the near side. Cam Bentfield stepping in for the touch for the Lumberjacks. Over towards the right side. Touch again by Greiner. He's been very active defensively tonight. Left corner again. Fairchild taking a look. Steps away from some pressure. A look in by Cameron Nod. Now back off towards Greiner on the left point. Turns it back to the right for Nathan Valley. Another drive into traffic that gets blocked. Valley taking a look. He'll get it high slot. Has an opening. Turns it left side. Another drive into traffic. This time Weston Nielsen will stop a shot that came in for Paul Greiner. Down to 14:55 to play in the third period. Central leading 3-0. Again, a non-conference matchup tonight, and the challenge for the coaching staffs for both Central and Red River will be in this final week to make sure that the players stay motivated for whatever you can motivate them for. Neither Central nor Red River can be displaced in their spot in the standings. The Knights will go in as the number 1 seed, Red River the 2. And you've got a week of hockey left to execute, practices, whatever games you have left. And so keeping men focused in that situation going to be a problem. Weston Nielsen turns away a chance from Taven Welly. Welly's been all around it tonight and snake bit. Griffin DeWar will take the puck from Bemidji. Turns it back to Welly coming in from behind the net. This is the scoring line for the Lumberjacks. This is where they're their most potent. Puck rebounds back out in front of Weston Nielsen. And it's loose behind the net. This will be taken up by Bodie Burris for Grand Forks Central. Burris up the wall on the right side. DeZiel coming back to the neutral zone. Left wing Rivard. Rivard back to DeZiel. Toucher towards the net. May have been touched by Hill. Doesn't get in. The Knights respond and keep the puck in the offensive end. DeZiel right half wall into the corner for Clausen. He tried to set DeZiel for a one-timer. Then Clausen got tumbled and Bemidji picked off the puck. It's come back loose. Welly trying to give chase for the Lumberjacks. And a puck will be driven into the neutral zone where it's picked up by the Lumberjacks on the back end with Landon Knott. Knott turning it back up to Schoonover in the neutral zone. Niemi trying to chase it down. Got turned on the far wall. 2-on-2 for control there. Pulled free by Logan Bean out to the point, but Central couldn't get it out of their own end. Knights pick one off with Cutterbaugh. He'll just drive it up into the neutral zone to clear Bemidji out of the offensive end. Niemi chases a loose puck back on the right side wall. Goes back, and fourth liner, Devin Walkenfuss will drive one off the far boards. This will flow back into the Bemidji end, and they wave off the icing here as well. Puck back towards the right side. Touch at center ice. Goes loose to Cal Matfield for the Lumberjacks. Matfield got turned away as the puck ends up back in the Grand Forks end. Battle for control in front of the Knights bench. This will flow back out towards the right and goes loose. Dawson Schoonover turning, playing one off the glass. Weston Nielsen, the goalie for Central, turning that one back out towards the right. It's come back on the right side for Devin Walkenfuss. He plays it back through, and Schoonover picks up a loose puck on the right side wall, drives towards the net again, tried to jab one for Niemi, and just couldn't quite get it to him cleanly. Knights come back up the ice, and a pull free by Devin Walkenfuss. His drive up and over the bar as Christian Hill ends up deflecting it up in the air. Lost it for a moment. Walkenfuss stays after it. Gavin Walkenfuss steps in for a touch for the Knights. Loose again off the near side boards. It'll hammer in front of Burris, and we'll see a draw coming up back in the Bemidji zone for icing. So we'll go back to the Lumberjacks end for a draw with the clock down to 12:18 to play. Want to say a big good luck tonight. I know they were planning on watching the game down in Fargo, but the Grand Forks Aviators Squirt Blue B team is down in Fargo for the Squirt International. It was fun to watch a game there. The opening ceremonies were last night, and I've got a boy playing on that Squirt B Blue team, and they're going to get ready to go again coming up tomorrow at noon. Today might not have had the results they were looking for, but I know that they've had a ton of fun trading pins, getting together as a team, and having a really good time. They've got a really good group this year, and so if they are happening to be taking this one in the conference room down at their hotel tonight, good luck to those guys coming up tomorrow. And it was fun to watch you guys play today, even if the results weren't exactly what we were looking for. It's always fun to watch you guys play, and we have a really, really good time watching you learn the game of hockey. We're hoping to see many of you out at this level coming up years down the road. Don't have to rush it, though. You can keep on playing at that level. We love watching you play. That Squirt International is a heck of a thing. Off the draw, a quick wave at a puck, and Brody Ledege drove one wide. Puck will come back into the neutral zone. Knights will keep it down with Bodie Burris putting it back into the offensive end. Rotation over for Gavin Brown, who's an extra defender tonight. Put it back behind the net. One-timer for Mardo, turned aside by Christian Hill. Mardo trying to force it back into the corner to keep control. Walkenfuss digging at it off the far boards. He got turned aside on a hit. Chase Fairchild comes up with the puck. And a loose puck taken up by Mardo back in the neutral zone as Central tries to force it back up into the offensive end. Knights on top, 3-0, 11:20 to play here in period number 3. Central may be going through some motions right now, though this has been a pretty good shift for the Walkenfuss, Mardo, Spicer line. Knights trying to knock one down. Off towards the near side, Bodie Burris will take a feed coming in from Grand Forks Central, Sam Prusting, who's out on the ice. Central might be in the midst of a change. Logan Nielsen turns one back to Cutter, but he lost it. Loose puck's picked up by Taven Welly. His chance. Weston Nielsen turned it away. Rebound surrendered. Ends up over in the far corner, and Jacob Spicer comes away with the puck for Grand Forks Central. Boy, Welly has had a handful of opportunities tonight. And either Nielsen has made a change to come up with a big save, or you've seen the Knight defense just rally to the occasion. Griffin DeWar back into his own end for the Lumberjacks. Turned back up the ice by Eli Kringen. Kringen taking a look towards the right, was able to find Truax. Back left side, DeWar, and his wrister gets deflected away. Loose puck to the right side, Kirkaby. Touched up for Presting, and here comes Central. 4-on-2 on the rush, and Presting a drive wide of the net, looking for the carom off the wall. He was able to get what he was looking for. Jacob Spicer couldn't reel it in cleanly, and it's turned aside by Nathan Valley for Bemidji as he works back up into the neutral zone. Welly gets stood up on the half line. This will come back out towards the Bemidji blue line as Central makes a change. Cherry picking left side was Griffin DeWar. He puts one in, but it goes wide of the net. Loose puck contained by Truax on the right side wall. Central gets a touch on it with less than 10 to play now in the third period. And Trey Clausen will turn one back up the ice. Bemidji back to get to it. Aiden Graber comes up a takeaway, and then the Knights nearly forced a turnover right on top of the crease. This will flow back into the neutral zone for the Knights. Off the right side, play up the ice from Spin Sitchy. Rivard trying to spin free. He was defended away by Landon Knott. Loose puck to Dawson Schoonover. Here comes Bemidji on the race. Puck gets turned around right on the point. Trey Clausen came up with it. Here comes DeZiel. 2-on-1 with Clausen. Now 3-on-1 Rivard. Back again to the right side for DeZiel, and he scores. Cooper DeZiel comes up with another big play for Grand Forks Central, and that first line comes together for the third time tonight for the Knights. And Central puts together a masterful play that will make it 4-0 on a beautiful rush right up the center of the ice. Take a look at it again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. It just starts with a fight that turns 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Rivard back to DeZiel, touches it in for the goal. And Grand Forks Central makes it a 4-0 lead as DeZiel gets his second goal tonight. Rivard will get an assist, as will Clausen. DeZiel on the board for the second time tonight. Time of the goal, 7:41 of the third period. And Central takes a 4-0 lead. And when you start talking about how Trey Clausen has been able to step in on that first line and really do some wonderful things, boy, the Knights have found a way to make their depth work. That's the 9-point night for that first line tonight, as 3 goals have been held by all 3. And now we got some action going on in front of the net after there was a reach in for a loose puck that was under Christian Hill's glove for a moment. The minds come together. Cooler heads are going to prevail here. They'll sort that out, and that will take us to a media timeout with 8:41 to play here in the third period. It's 4-0 Grand Forks Central on the All True scoreboard. This is our coverage of Knights hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Grand Forks Central leading by a score of 4-0 over Bemidji. Knights coming together as a group to put together the plan for the finish. Knights trying for their 16th win of the season here tonight, and leading this one by a score of 4-0. Cooper DeZiel, Ryder Rivard, Trey Clausen, 9 points this evening. DeZiel 2 goals, Rivard a goal, Clausen 3 assists, and all 3 have touched the puck on 3 of the 4 goals that Grand Forks Central scored. Nolan Mardo with the other goal tonight for the Knights. Girls hockey last night, Fargo North-South, the Spruans and the Night Riders of Grand Forks Central battled to a 1-0 win for North-South in the battle for the top spot in the statewide standings, as we see a puck go offside for the Lumberjacks. We'll see a draw coming up in the Central Zone. Again, when it comes down to girls hockey, they have an extra week of the regular season. There is no conference tournament. There are 12 teams that play girls hockey. 8 get in. And so you've got to be in the top 8 at the end of the regular season standings. Both Grand Forks and Fargo North-South will, as Central comes up with a takeaway, and a drive from the high slot by Spicer gets kicked aside by Christian Hill after he makes the initial stop. Lumberjacks come away with control of the puck and drive up the ice. Taven Welly gets across, but again, Bemidji is offside. We'll draw coming up on the central line. But after a great weekend road trip for Grand Forks last week, where they went out and swept Dickinson and Bismarck Legacy, they came home against North-South trying to battle for the top spot. And a penalty-laden game. I think there were 6 penalties in the first period of that game last night at Blue Line Iceplex, formerly Eagles Arena. And Fargo North-South scored a goal in the first period, and that was it, 1-0. The final score in that matchup. Central turns one over. Schoonover with a blast from the left circle that ends up going wide. Puck down the wall. Schoonover back over to pick it up. He'll be guided to the wall by Finn Sitchie. Sitchie trying to hold on to control. Schoonover got it back, and then it was kicked free by Mardo. It comes out towards the Grand Forks Central line. Walkenfuss knocks one down. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Mardo's going to hold it himself. Top of the circle. Put it down to the slot and the crease. And Ryland Spicer knocks it just wide. It'll be returned by Case and Panzer. Knights go to work in the offensive cycle. Spicer, high slot. Turning it back out towards the point. Drive into traffic again by Sitchie. Turned on a backhander towards the net by Walkenfuss. And it goes wide of the net. Walkenfuss picks it up. Feeds Mardo coming down the goal line extended. Back to Ryland Spicer. Panzer. Spicer again outside the left circle. Just drives one high off the glass looking for a bounce. And Walkenfuss will pick it up in the corner. He tried to drop it for Nolan Mardo, but Walkenfuss keeps possession. Now pulls it free. Put it out in front. Spicer back to Mardo. A turn and a diving stop by Christian Hill. Puck goes loose. And boy, Christian Hill has had a big night tonight doing things like that for Bemidji. A drive up the ice by Bodie Burris. He comes in and puts one just wide. Burris will try to track it down the corner, taking a hit from Eli Kringen. Now Kringen pins him up against the boards. It'll come back behind the net. Spicer still out there at the end of his shift. He'll turn towards the right circle, back to the point. Nielsen down the wall, fed back towards the corner. A step towards Walkenfuss. He'll throw a hit on Gavin Brown. Walkenfuss comes away with it. Circles back out near point. Burris into traffic, deflected, ping-pongs its way out towards the far boards. A high turn out of the left corner by Cameron Knott to ice the puck. And that will bring us back into the Bemidji zone for a draw. With 6:22 left to go in the matchup. What a play that we just saw from Christian Hill. We take a look at it in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Watch this diving stop that you'll see from Bemidji goaltender Christian Hill. This puck loose, and there's the diving stop. He made it off the body. The puck came loose again even after that, but he's had a habit of making some of those happen tonight. 28 saves for Christian Hill in the matchup. And Bemidji getting another offensive push. Shot from the high slot that flutters. Weston Nielsen just got a piece of it. Comes back high slot again. A touch from Cam Bentfield. Bentfield playing off the wall. Knights will clear it back into the neutral zone, and Eli Kringen will pick it up back in the Bemidji end. And we're going to see a penalty coming up here. The very first penalty of the night. Bemidji is going to go on the power play. So the Knights trying to touch it up. The extra attacker comes on the ice for the Lumberjacks, and the Knights will get a touch up on it. And Grand Forks Central going to find their way to a shorthanded situation with 5:47 to go, as we'll see the penalty enforced in front of us. They're going to get a roughing call that will go against Jacob Spicer. Time of the penalty will be at 11 minutes and 13 seconds, and Bemidji will call for timeout before we get to the power play. So we'll take a timeout as well. We'll come back with more in a couple of moments. Lumberjacks down 4-0, going on the power play in just a couple of moments, so do stay with us. Our coverage of high school hockey continues next.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Timeout taken by the Lumberjacks before they go on the power play, as Grand Forks Central will be shorthanded, and we'll see the first penalty of the night against either team this evening. 5:47 to play, second period. Jacob Spicer to the box for roughing at 11:13. And our power play brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. This is a power play for the Lumberjacks that has struggled this season. Puck ends up back in the neutral zone just 9 seconds into the power play. And we're going to have another penalty coming up, and is Central going to be 2 men down. This penalty will come at the 11 minutes and 25-second mark. And yes, the Knights will be 2 men down, as Rivard will find his way into the box as well. So Ryder Rivard will take his seat in the penalty area.
And Central's number 9, Ryder Rivard. 2 minutes for cross-checking.
This will be a cross-checking call against Rivard. And so now the Knights will have an opportunity to practice, I guess, their 3-man penalty kill. 2 men down for 1 minute and 49 seconds unless a goal is scored. So a long opportunity for Bemidji on a power play that does not convert at a high percentage this season. A one-timer waved at on the near side by Griffin DeWar, and it's forced back into the neutral zone. When we went through our keys the game a couple of moments ago for Bemidji, you can see it, power play success, just 5.7%. By most conventional wisdom, you want that power play to be up as near 20% as you can, certainly 10%. So to be down at 5.7%, that's a number that you see where you actually question whether the number is accurate. Central trying to clear and will do so. And the Lumberjacks have emptied the net as well. So down 4-0, the Lumberjacks are going at this 6-on-3. It'll be a 3-man advantage for Bemidji as the net is empty on the Lumberjacks end. And for 1 minute 10 seconds, they'll have a 6-on-3 advantage. Drive into traffic. Weston Nielsen to make a stop on a wrister that came in from David Welly, who's been their most offensive-minded player so far tonight. 1 minute left to go, and now a loose puck back into the Bemidji zone, and we'll see some chase given by Trey Clausen, but Clausen's going to peel away and come back into the neutral zone. They want to change out a penalty killer, and Gavin Walkenfuss will come on the ice for that. So 6 Lumberjack attackers on the ice versus 3 Central defenders. Call it a 3-man advantage or 2-man advantage with the extra attacker. Puck loose in front of the net. Weston Nielsen, big save, stepping over to the right to save on a loose puck. It goes back into the right side wall and rotated back into the neutral zone. And the Central crowd comes to life. They love the effort. Weston Nielsen getting a kick save on that one with a handful of able-bodied Lumberjacks looking for a loose puck that they were unable to come up with. 15 seconds left on the 2-man advantage for the Lumberjacks. The Knights about to get 1 skater back, and it would make it 6-on-4, but only 15 seconds left of the 6-on-4, really 12 by the time they get back out there. Nielsen cuts off an angle, and a shot goes wide. Loose puck near side, empty net shot will score for Grand Forks Central as the Knights just brought out Jacob Spicer onto the ice. And again, Bemidji had the extra attacker on the ice. The net was open, and Central will go up 5-0. Time of the goal will be at 13:18 for Jacob Spicer. And Central takes a 5-0 lead. Still 7 seconds left of the Bemidji power play. Enough time to win a draw and try to step up ahead of the Central blue line. But that empty net goal kind of deflates whatever momentum Bemidji was building. Here's a drive that comes off a wrister from Cooper DeZiel off the draw.
For Central, number 11,
and we'll get the official scoring. Jacob Spicer likely going to be helped out on this one.
Goal, empty net goal. For the Knights, goal time 13.
They're going to hand out no assists on it. So it's an empty net shorthander for Jacob Spicer. A shorty. That makes it 5-0 Grand Forks Central. And with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left, the string starts to play out on this one. Puck back onto the Grand Forks Central line. Played back up the ice off the right side by Finn Sitchie, who's been the 6th defender tonight in the absence of Wyatt Blake, who hopefully is going to be back and healthy in a Central uniform as we get into tournament time. But with Central secured in that number 1 spot, no chance to really have to risk any injured players. Here's Clausen with the wrister. That's driven up and over the glove of Christian Hill. Puck will go loose towards the far wall. Again, Wyatt Blake injured, Che Kwame injured, and even if they are able to come back, this game for no points in the conference standings. Central has no position to play for, locked into the number 1 spot in the East region. So if you are a little banged up, get a whole week to get healthy before you'd have to step on the ice again and take advantage of the opportunity to do that. Puck on the right side, point, driven down by Taven Welly. Welly's been all around it for Bemidji tonight and just has not been able to find the right path to the net. Puck back up into the neutral zone. Clausen absorbs a hit, plays one back towards the net. Christian Hill will transition it out. Puck on the left side net for Nathan Valley. Valley steps out on the right, drives one up into the neutral zone. Schoonover steps up offensive end for the Lumberjacks. Got turned around to the point, puck kicked free. And Central trying for another rush as Logan Nielsen comes away with a wrister that he keeps low. Puck off the end wall to Brody Ledegi for Central. Ledegi went back looking for Devin Walkenfuss. Walkenfuss looking to pull it free. This comes up with Mason Bensley, 2-on-1. Rebound surrender by Hill. Rebounded puck driven back in by Brody Ledegi and just wide of the net. Fourth liners produce here. Puck loose on the right. Cutterbutt trying to hold the offensive zone with 90 seconds left to go in the game. Knights transition back up into the offensive end. A workman-like performance tonight for Grand Forks Central. Couple of flashy goals, certainly, but the storylines that will come out of this one is that line number 1 for Central, Rivard, Clausen, DeZiel playing well. 9 points combined for those individuals tonight. Nolan Mardo got the scoring started for Central, and Central did enough defensively to keep Bemidji from grade A chances offensively. Lumberjacks did produce some chances tonight, but again, the forecheck for Central big. Both goalies for the Knights right now giving up less than a goal a game, and one of the reasons for that is that the Central defensive effort has just been a really, really good one throughout the year, and that was the one level of hockey for Central that was perhaps a little bit in question for the Knights this season. They had a lot of offensive talent coming up, but 3 sophomores back on the blue line. You wondered how quickly will they grow up. Well, they've grown up well. Puck loose in front of the net. Backhander that may have hit a pipe off the left side. That came from Cameron Nod. And we'll see a stoppage to replace the net on its moorings with 27.3 seconds left to go. Take a look at where Central's going to be coming up here in the future. Again, the conference situation won't matter for them, but they do have some points to play for as of yet before they end up with the season coming to a conclusion, I believe. They have West Fargo left to go. Central will play at West Fargo coming up on Tuesday night, February 10th, and that will be the end of the regular season for the Knights. That'll be a game they'll be heavily favored in. 10 seconds to go. Puck back in the Grand Forks Central end. And the Knights will have their 16th victory of the season tonight as Central comes up with a 5-0 victory this evening over Bemidji. Central improves to 16-2 on the year, and Bemidji will fall to 5-9-1 on the season tonight. On a performance for the first line that was brilliant, Weston Nielsen making a couple of saves, and in the meantime, you see a Bemidji effort for Christian Hill that's just going to go without a win. 31 stops tonight for Christian Hill and Bemidji, but the Lumberjacks just not able to find a lot of offense this evening, and the Knights are able to move it into a 16th victory this season. Post-game report coming up, and our post-game report brought to you this evening by Spray Advantage and also by the Ski and Bike Shop. If you missed some highlights of this one, come on back because we'll take a look at those highlights coming up in just a couple of moments, so we invite you to stay with us. But our post-game report is on the way next. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
This is the KNOX postgame show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Our post-game report tonight is brought to you by Spray Advantage and by the Ski and Bike Shop. Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The difference between Spray Advantage and their competitors is that Spray Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, and seed tenders in 2 locations to serve you in Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Spray Advantage, make them a part of your agricultural game plan now and for years to come. And also brought to you tonight by the Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure awaits. If it's time to be fitted out for a new snowboard, if it's time to be fitted out for a pair of skis, or of course Trek bikes, which are the best in the business, you'll find those at the Ski and Bike Shop. And even if you think it's wintertime and not time for a bike, put some fat tires on that Trek bike. It'll tear up the snow and you'll be able to get out there and do the things that you want to do in the snow. 5-0 your final score tonight. Grand Forks Central gets the victory this evening over the Bemidji Lumberjacks tonight to move to 16-2-0-2 on the season, and Bemidji drops to 5-9-1. Again, we talked about things throughout the course of the night for the Lumberjacks and having a power play that doesn't convert particularly well, a low shooting percentage, and a lot of those problems plagued Bemidji tonight. Shots up and over the crossbar at close range, shots blocked from the point. They didn't get a lot of grade A opportunities, and when they did get a handful of them here or there, they put them up and over the bar, wide of the net, something that they have to work on. The offensive technique is there, and the angles are there, but the success, the conversion, has been the problem for Bemidji. Meanwhile, Central testing their depth tonight. Trey Clausen playing on that first line in the absence of Che Kwame, and he, along with Ryder Rivard and Cooper DeZiel, combined for 9 points this evening. Weston Nielsen works an efficient 16-save shutout, and it's not like he wasn't tested at all. There were some tests that came out in this one tonight for him, but he was able to survive them. Let's go through our highlights that we have this evening. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent. The scoring gets started with Nolan Mardo. A play in the neutral zone that Central doesn't give up on. Mardo picks up the puck, charges towards the net, just gets enough on his backhand there to sneak it across the line. Central took a 1-0 lead. And then later in the period, this would be Ryder Rivard picking up a play right on the heart of the slot. Got it on his forehand side and goes right underneath the crossbar. Central led 2-0 after the opening period of play tonight. You'd see a couple of pretty goals. Here's Cooper DeZiel. Touch to Rivard, back to DeZiel. A tap in for Cooper DeZiel. That made it a 3-0 lead at that point for Grand Forks Central. The Knights come away with another one of those pretty plays. 3-on-1. Rivard back to DeZiel on the right side, going short-sided. Made it 4-0 at that point. Christian Hill made some big plays tonight for Bemidji. Watch this diving stop that he makes coming back to take away another goal from Grand Forks Central. So he was on top of his game tonight. But as you could see in a couple of occasions there, Grand Forks Central really got into a couple of rhythms tonight with that first line, and they took that to a next level in putting 5 on the board tonight and winning by a final score of 5-0. I don't think we're going to get our final box score tonight, so we're going to have to go with our own scoring summary this evening with Who Lit the Lamp, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Cooper DeZiel with 2 goals tonight and an assist. He'll have a 3-point night. Ryder Rivard with a goal and a pair of assists this evening. And Trey Clausen with 3 assists this evening. Each of those men with 3 points tonight, led by Cooper DeZiel. picking up 2 goals and an assist this evening, and Ryder Rivard with a goal and 2 assists. Nolan Marta with a goal that was unassisted to start the game. And then Jacob Spicer scores at the end of the night tonight as well. That's an empty net shorthanded goal when the Knights faced a 6-on-3 penalty kill and ended up scoring after they got it back to 6-on-4 with the empty net. Spicer jumping out of the box, found a puck right in front of him, had a wide open net to shoot at, and Spicer puts the final goal on the board tonight to make this one a 5-0 victory tonight for Grand Forks Central over Bemidji. And that is Who Lit the Lamp Tonight, and it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Our post-game report continues tonight, brought to you by Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm, and brought to you this evening as well by the Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure awaits. Let's go through our 3 stars of the game tonight. And our 3 stars of the game are brought to you tonight by PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service. And if you need service on your garage door, then you need service from PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors, Grand Forks and Dells Lake. They've been serving the area since 1974. There's a lot of different directions for this one to go in this evening, as there were players that were making a lot of plays, but really when you've got 9 points in that first line tonight, you have to go ahead and combine it out there. Those are where your 3 stars are going to be, and we'll just absolutely go in order tonight. 3rd star, Trey Clausen, 3 assists in this one tonight for Grand Forks Central, stepping up from the 3rd line to the 1st line to anchor that effort. And Clausen with 3 assists, he'll be our 3rd star. Our 2nd star, Ryder Rivard, great snapshot to score that 2nd goal tonight for Red River, or should say rather for Central, along with 2 apples there as well. Rivard gets star number 2. Star number 1, Cooper DeZiel, 2 goals and an assist tonight. He caps off the 9-point night for that first line for Grand Forks Central, and Cooper DeZiel will be our 1st star tonight. Our 3 stars of the game brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Our 3 stars are Trey Clausen, Ryder Rivard, and Cooper DeZiel. Those are our 3 stars brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Our defensive award with our Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game is brought to you by Finest Auto Trim. Big or small, they cover it all. Finest Auto Trim specializes in recovering seats in your boat, seats in your vehicle. They've done even aircraft. And those of you that are in agriculture, as you get ready to start that next season, get those seats recovered if you wore them out while you were out doing the work that you were doing this past year. Get them ready to go for the upcoming season so that when you spend hours in those implements, you can be supported and, keep your body where it needs to be. Also, if this winter has kind of wore you down with some of the melt freeze that we've had going on, you need to cover some things outside. Finest Auto Trim will custom make covers for things you have to protect outdoors, boats, pontoons, power generators, AC units. They have you covered with all of that. Finest Auto Trim, big or small, they cover it all. Boy, tip of the cap tonight to Christian Hill for Bemidji, making that diving stop for the Lumberjacks. If you were going to give that award to somebody on the visiting team, he would be the guy that would stand out for you tonight, because he really did have a game where he made some very interesting things happen all throughout the course of the night tonight. But it'll be an honorable mention just for the fact that, you give up 5 goals and end up dropping the game. That's one of those that you have to sort of say, okay, you got to go someplace else. I'm going to give that award tonight to Carson Cutterba for Grand Forks Central. Cutterba stepped his game up tonight, did some things defensively with puck handling that typically you don't see defensemen do and you don't see him do very often. So Carson Cutterba will be our Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game award winner tonight. And again, brought to you by Finest Auto Trim, big or small, they cover it all. We'll wrap things up with our Goals Against Hunger tonight, which is presented by Northland Community and Technical College in East Grand Forks. Get the start to your liberal arts degree that will give you a number of career paths in life with Northland Community and Technical College, and you can do it for less money right in your own backyard in East Grand Forks, Minnesota. They've partnered with KNOX Live Sports to stamp out hunger in our region. As our teams score, money is donated to the Pioneer Food Pantry in East Grand Forks to help fight hunger in our region. Tonight, Grand Forks Central scores 5 goals. That means $5 will move from Northland Community and Technical College to the Pioneer Food Pantry. And our award tonight with the Northland Community and Technical College Goals Against Hunger is brought to you by Northland Community and Technical College. That's going to do it for our coverage of high school hockey tonight here at Purpur Arena, where the Knights grabbed their 16th victory of the year, knocking off Bemidji by a score of 5-0. Our next hockey broadcast is Tuesday across town at the Blue Line Iceplex. Used to be called Eagles Arena. It'll be senior night for Grand Forks Red River. The Rough Riders will host the Fargo Shanley Deacons coming up on Tuesday. 7 o'clock face-off, 6:30 pregame report, KNOX Live Sports, and also KNOX Radio. So you can join us for that coming up on Tuesday. Want to thank the fine sponsors that make it possible all throughout the year, including our premier sports partners, Rivard's Turf and Forage and Grand Trailer Sales. Our videography work tonight with Luca Carpenter and Joey Springer. I'm Ryan Cunningham. Your final score, Central 5, Bemidji nothing. This has been our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.